I'm a member of parliament for South Mogrango and the majority whip of the National Assembly. Waziri, this is very crucial. It couldn't have come any, there is no better time. I think we tried, we were a bit late, but let me say there is no better time than this that God has provided for us to have this engagement. You may be surprised, Waziri, I'll speak in two fronts. I have gone through the police training. Unlike what most of you know about me. And I know much about the police, and then now I am in the legislature part. So when I speak, I'll speak in the two fronts. Many challenges of the security officers, Waziri, boil down to one thing: morale. Morale in every sector. Because these officers are doomed when they do, they are doomed when they don't. They are like goalkeepers. No matter how many goals they are able to stop from, their opponent from scoring, people will remember that one particular incident that the ball passed through, whether it's by accident or by design. And that is why the officers sometimes face a lot of challenges. Right from their salary, back to their workstations, frustrations from their families and everything. There are so many things that the officers go through. But I'll single out now that we have senior officers, and I didn't really hear any of them speak about it, especially on our stations. We have a challenge of strength, big one. A station, I don't know whether somebody spoke, but you get a station, a large station that covers a huge area of jurisdiction, has got very minimal officers. But I'm happy that there is recruitment that is going to happen in another 2 or 3 weeks, which will cap that. But when you do that, Waziri, please remember the area of Kisii. It is largely understaffed. Largely understaffed. And you can see, like a village slum, overly populated, so we really need such. Two, mobility. There is a challenge of mobility in our stations. I think my OCS in one of the stations is here and can tell you, I have seen several times they are pushing their vehicles along the way, and sometimes we rescue them. And really embarrassing, and it's not really a very good situation. When I get back to the question of morale, Waziri, these officers did a very good job to curb the large protests that were witnessed in this country sometimes last year. If I remember well, and because of the network within the service, in the last regime, there is what we used to call unknown allowance for the officers. If that can actually be seen for these officers, it will boost their morale so much. They know what I mean, so I think, yes. But again, there is a growing lack of coordination then now, and this is the challenge, between Ngao officers and the police service. It's largely attributed, Waziri, to now the autonomy of the police service. And you find the DC is chairing a security meeting, but the OCPD could be having a larger AIE than now that DC. If there is a way that coordination can be done, that they are harmonized in either side, so that there is utmost respect. Because I have seen myself, Waziri, a chief from my area, and I'm sure the chief is here, being dragged by a constable from the crowd, to end a statement. And he was holding a barasa. An old man left with 2 years to retire, And the good thing is that I was in that area, and I engaged the officer. I told him, really, you can't do this. You could summon this officer, because how then do you want this guy to even summon or to call the baraza tomorrow? People will not respect him. That needs to be harmonized. There is a disconnect. And I must agree with what some chief said here, where sometimes a chief arrests, we have a few elements within the police service. A chief arrests a drunkard, takes them to the station, anarudishwa na yeye. Officer anasimama hapa anamwambia rudi. Enda tafuta njia nyingine, ama anamweka ndani kidogo, then anamwambia huyu unajua chief haona akili, wacha it is embarrassing sometimes. This is sometimes very embarrassing. But more importantly, within the service, again, the challenge that we have again, please reintroduce refresher courses for the police officers. Some of the police officers, especially the junior ones, because they can hardly go to the ranges. The last time they went or they shot, they used a gun is when they were in college. And some mistakes that are done, they cannot actually eye the bullseye, because they've even forgotten to use sometimes those serious armories that have actually come lately. So we need to think through that line. And finally, to the officers, there is a new world order, like you know. There is the question of AI, artificial intelligence. Please also acquaint yourself to the current facts that crimes are being organized within the space. And as we even think through that line, even as they talk about mobility, I think it's about time that also government gives the security officers maybe these gadgets, like you can smartphones and something like that, so they can be able to acquaint themselves to the AI and within the system.
Thank you.
Ya mwisho kabisa nimemaliza waziri, ni kusema kwamba unajua area yangu hii ya Etago na Gucha South, watu waache kuita hiyo area hardship. Ati ukipandishiwa unapelekwa huko. You know they say from the county, from the region, wewe nitakutuma Etago. Kwani Etago iko namna gani? Kila mtu akisema nitakutuma Etago. Etago is where I come from. That is my home. I am the majority whip. Please. Hiyo sio area ya kupeleka watu ati tunapata walevu ndio wamejaa huko. Watu mtu ofisa ametumwa kutoka sijui hapa town ati amekuwa mlevi, sasa anapelekwa Etago. Mimi nikipita napata ofisa. That is very bad. So I think that is it. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Asante sana mheshimiwa. Now